So here we are for our Gela beach landing. We'll take a quick look at the forces. So for the valiant Italian coastal defense troops, we are running a very similar list to what we had last time in the Syracuse beach landing. We're starting with a formation command of 2 Carcano rifle teams. Then we have 3 Carcano rifle coastal defense rifle platoons with 9 bases and their accompanying barbed wire and minefields, which I'll dig out after I deploy because I got to figure out who's in reserve. Then we have some 81mm mortars, 2 units of Breda HMGs. Now I've upgraded these with the machine gun nest card. That makes them basically count as dug in concealment, and you need to re-roll successful firepower checks on them. Then we have the assault mortars, and we got 2 coastal defense 100mm gun nests, and then a platoon of 2 47mm guns. These ones also have the bunker upgrade card, doing the exact same thing it does for the HMG, just for gun teams. Then as you can see, I've got a couple of platoons have those Legions of Rome dice beside it. They upgraded. I decided to roll before we deploy just to get it out of the way. And yeah, that is the Italian force.
And coming ashore for the Americans, of course, with a beach, a lot of our options are restricted here. And we wanted to go semi-thematic. So our first wave ashore, the Rangers.
Ooh,
we've got our
Rangers.
HQ with 2 full platoons and a mortar platoon. Each of them has a 60mm mortar. And one of the Ranger stands has been swapped in for an LMG in each. So that'll be making up the first wave coming in at the dusk of dark. We have attached to them, as part of the Firestorm rule set, an engineer platoon. So these guys will be moving in with the Rangers, looking to clear. They actually have 2, they're heavy machine guns attached, not the LMGs. And although they're still green skill for all of their minefields and barbed wire and digging in, they're on a 3+. So that'll really help with them moving in the first wave. We have then our second wave. Following the Rangers, as it reaches morning, will be our Big Red 1. Our veterans coming out of Africa here, so we've got their HQ. We've got 2 full platoons of those, each with a bazooka and an LMG attached, and a Big Red 1 mortar platoon for them as well. So a complete second wave to come. And our lone little dude here is going to be our spotter for the naval battery. And those ships will be hoping to remove a lot of these nests before
destroyer or
I have
cruiser?
to assault them. The lighter ship in this case. Yay!
So yes, here we have 2 excellent thematic forces ready to defend the beaches of Sicily versus the Rangers and Big Red 1 ready to take it. Let's take a look at the table. Alrighty, so we started by choosing our objectives. I placed one there behind the vineyards. Ben placed his over there in front of the escarpment of the village. Then I put 20% of my force in reserve. They will be 1 rifle platoon who upgraded with Legions of Rome and my assault mortars. Then I deployed. So defending this flank, we have in the back 2 100mm coastal defense nests. We have a heavy machine gun Breda platoon along the front there. We have the second one kind of interspersed with the orchard and the vineyard and in front there. We got our 2 47mm bunkers there. And then over on the left flank, we have both rifle platoons that have deployed along with their attendant minefields and barbed wires, the 81mm mortars, and the company commanders. And then pre-range bombardments for me, I've sighted my 81mm there in the shrubs, and both coastal coastal 100mm here on the beach, just in case he somehow stupidly decides to land in front of my machine guns. But we will see. So we're going to move on to the first turn with the Rangers coming ashore. All right, turn 1, American movement step. Take us through it.
All right, so first boats kind of came in about center, slightly up, because we're drifting to the left, my left. And first one rolled off. These are going to be my engineer corps. They are delayed. They got hit with some waves. They did not actually line up for the shore run. But the mortars took a large drift. They brought the naval spotter with them. So they've run ashore and set up on the beach. The naval spotter has gone into the short terrain to spot towards the objective that we wanted to secure at the footsteps of the city. And our 2 rangers, they drifted way down to here and here. Both have dashed out. A couple went in towards the minefield. Both saved there.
Rather unfortunately.
And one of their boats did refloat, the upper ranger. The other 2 didn't push back out. But it means we at least have 2 boats attempting to come ashore next turn. And the rest of our guys are already clearing the beach. So we're going to run them into their first Italians. And our first combats in Europe.
All right, on to the shooting. All right, so Ben has actually opted not to do any shooting this turn.
Limited shots, and I just didn't want to give away myself at night. So everybody will be set up for next turn when we can start bringing in some artillery guns, hopefully.
Excellent.
And mortars.
Excellent. All right, let's move on to Italian, turn 1.
All right, so Italians, we're not expecting the assault at night. Let's see if any of them can wake up in time to get to their stations.
Yep, so let's start with the entire army's worth of rally steps. We're going to start on the left here with the 47 millimeters. All of my troops have a separate rally rating from the reluctant rating, so it is 4+. So over here on the 47s, nope. The Breda's here, nope. The Breda's here, yes, they unpin.
Those are the ones I would have liked to be pinned, but it's fine.
This coastal battery here, no, and this one here. I'll reroll that because it's cocked. They stay pinned. Okay.
You don't actually know we're ashore yet. It's a secret.
So this rifle platoon here unpins.
Only the ones closest to my troops.
Right.
We must have walked a little out.
The 81 millimeter mortars, who have the commander reroll because they're right next to them. They unpin, not needing the reroll. And on the far right flank in the crop fields,
the commander himself.
I'll come back to him. That platoon does not unpin, and then the commander, because I forgot to put down a token for him. And rerolling because himself, he unpins. So, I mostly am staying pinned, except for the troops right in front of the Americans, because we see you, apparently.
No one sees us. It's a secret.
So, let's move on to movement. So, movement phase for the Italians, turn 1, I moved a single command team.
That's a lot of shuffling done.
Yep.
Congratulations, Italians. You really moved.
Yep.
All right.
So we're going to move straight into shooting.
Straight into shooting.
All right. My Bredas do not have line of sight to anything even to begin with, so I'm not going to bother with anything on the left flank. What I'm going to try to do is start by spotting for my railway artillery that I actually forgot to put the picture out to show that I had it, but they're going to spot for the rail guns.
Don't appreciate it.
A whole 9 points. That I technically was also supposed to put down a ranged in marker at the start, and completely forgot. So
it's fine.
I'll
answer with naval guns.
I will need a ranged in marker at some point.
I don't think you will. I'd prefer if you didn't, honestly.
I'm going to attempt to spot him using this formation command team.
Reasonable enough.
Right to here.
Yeah. Okay.
So there will be no terrain underneath it. Actually, I'll put it here just to make sure I don't
somewhere with no
clip
terrain.
the escarpment.
Sure. Yep.
But I do add +1 because of night fighting, and I also have to roll to see if I actually have line of sight because of night fighting. So I've picked my point. I'm going to see how far away it is. It's going to be 23 inches, so I might not have line of sight. I need to roll a 5 or better. Roll a 6. Nope, never mind. Is that actually how that works? Oh, the line of sight is not affected by night.
So they don't
never mind. Okay, so forget about that.
But they just
so
need
we'll
to
just
range
roll.
in?
Yeah, so that was my first attempt. That failed. His skill is a 5+. I'm ranging it at night.
So 6.
All right. 6. So second attempt and third attempt. That's a lot of 4s, but unfortunately,
you did ask for consistency, so like,
and I'm
gave you
consistency. So moving on, we're going to attempt to fire some Carcanos here.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm debating if I want to range in the mortars. Yeah, you know what? I'll come back to the Carcanos. I'm going to attempt to spot the mortars, same spot, but in the middle. So shifting a little bit to the right in the very middle. They will need. Oh, so they're upgraded, so their skill is 4+.
Who was doing the ranging a moment ago?
Formation command team.
Ranging in what?
The Milmart.
Oh, your artillery. Okay, my mistake. Forgot.
So
Thought that was the mortars.
81 millimeters. The unit commander will spot right to here.
Okay.
And now because they upgraded from Legions of Rome, I believe their skill is now a 4+.
They did, yes. Yeah, it was a 4 with their upgrade.
So I will need a 5 to range in because of night. Of course, now I can't get a 4. Second attempt, third attempt. I see how this
you were counting up. Like if you keep on schedule, you'll get it next turn.
Let's see how this is gonna go. Okay, the Bredas. They will attempt to shoot the Ranger platoon in front of them.
Carcanos, you mean?
Yes. The coastal defense rifles.
I mean, it's a good thing the American commander read up on your weapon profile.
Whatever. I'm not used to playing Italians yet, so I gotta roll to see if I have line of sight. I get 4, which in night fighting will be 16 inches, so I should.
Your weapon range. I think a couple of them are in range.
Could pretty much hit.
So pretty much everyone will be able to hit at least more than one team.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rifle teams firing.
Okay.
You start at a 4+.
Yes.
It's night fighting, and you're not in concealment. Because unfortunately, my barbed wire does not offer concealment.
That's disappointing.
I know. For you.
Sorry. I was the one who said it. All right, so 5s?
Yep.
That's actually some
surprisingly good shots.
Surprisingly reasonable shots for these ITIs. All right.
1, 2, 3, and 1 on the machine gun. Because he's the... Yeah, I guess you could swap it to this last rifle team if you can roll.
Yeah, we will. We'll try and do a mistaken target. These the first time using these fighting first dice, I just felt they would fit in for our mid-war campaign. A couple test runs, they've been a little cold. We'll see what happens. Okay, a little cold. All right, maybe the rest will wake up. So it stays where it is. We've got what, 3 rifles
and an LMG.
And an LMG.
But if you wouldn't mind rolling the 2 of the rifles separately, just because they are the ones that are currently in the minefield.
Fair enough. All right. So I guess we'll just carry on with the LMG.
Good.
It does save. The 2 rifles in the minefield.
1.
The other's good.
Okay.
And the last rifle. So we lose 2 rifles.
I will take that. I'm not to pin you, but that'll honestly be the only shots I make this turn. All right. That's end of Italian turn 1.
Move those out.
On to American turn 2.
Americans ready to grab some ground.
We'll see. All right, take us through your movement.
All right, so we had some more boats coming ashore. The engineers that failed last turn got hit some big waves way down here. They've done a dash to kind of run off their boats and clear the terrain. A couple of them did go into the minefield, passed their safety checks there. The first platoon of the Big Red 1, they were going to follow up in the next wave boat that returned. They also got hit with some surf and so didn't make it ashore this turn. Our mortars have set up where they were last turn to begin bombardment. Here we did order the one team that was in there who has stayed behind to clear the minefield. The rest were able to come forward. 2 of the teams did fail actually to get through the barbed wire. 2 of them actually have entered the barbed wire successfully. The platoon that was behind the escarpment here, they moved up the tree lines skirting the fortifications, and they did successfully issue a follow me. So the platoon commander has moved forward and urged his men closer. So we are actually set up to be within a potential assault range this turn. We're going to go into shooting first. We're going to see if we can get some spotting and get these platoons re-pinned down, ideally maybe on the further edge. We're going to try this out here, and hopefully things are set up. We can start to clear out all these fortifications and get a beachhead.
All right, on to shooting step. So shooting step, So, shooting step, American turn 2. We're going to start by ranging in all the individual bombardments. We have 2 individual 60 mils,
couple 60s,
a 82 millimeters, and a naval gunfire bombardments.
Yes. So we'll just go down the beach here. These guys, we need to make sure we're not danger close to these platoons, so are obviously going to be shifting further forward over here. So somewhere in the range of that, where we can still pin the platoon down, catch half the platoon. We're on terrain, but we are veterans. It's at night, so we're going to be up to 5s. 3, nights 4, and terrain 5s. So first mortar, range is in. All right, so that works.
So it look like
so
5 teams, I think.
Essentially there, yeah.
Those 5.
We just needed to make sure we're out of danger close, that being the closest team. So the closest we could get
6
is angled that way, is there, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are all the same.
Oh, rifles.
2, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we ranged in on the first. You are
3.
Aggressive, so hitting on 3s. Not bad, so 5. Pretty much the furthest 5 out there. We're not particularly too concerned with them all being the same.
1 firepower check, please.
Before I betray you.
Oh, yes, 1 gun. Hold on,
is
so I'll
one
take
gun.
that back. I may keep that save.
So
it's only 3.
It's
3.
three.
So I will re-roll.
Re-roll it, yeah.
So these 3. So nobody
We'll allow
does.
Okay.
And we'll put the pin down marker.
But we do hit. We do pin. That's the main objective we wanted really there. Next mortar
Same idea.
is pretty much going to do the same idea. The only other thing he's really going to have to worry about is if we want to go slightly separate position. And then we can get the mortars.
It's still got to point towards him, right?
And the HQ, yeah, somewhere there. He could get really that. It just gives us at least a separate position if next turn you've moved around. So we'll try that. Again, 5s. These guys know where they're going at least. Maybe we were pre-ranged in. So they're essentially up there on the house, which will have 1 member of the HQ platoon who is also aggressive.
Yes.
Everyone is? Okay. And 3 mortars. So 3 mortars. Re-rolling. 2. And the HQ, which fails outright.
Okay, the 2 mortars. Firepower checks.
All right. That, I believe, is a 4+.
On a 60 mil, I think it's a 5+.
I know bazookas and such are 5. The 60s, I think, are not that bad. You'd think enough armored rifles, I would know. 60 mils are a 4+.
Okay.
All right, so for the 2 teams there, we get 1 of them. All right, not bad. Not bad for a single little mortar stand.
Not bad, because that's going to force a left stand check now.
Oh, I do appreciate that then. All right, so we have the full mortar platoon on the beach, as well as the naval guns. They're both essentially kind of limited in their ranging options. It's either at the same place. The naval gun could kind of fire at the other platoon. Maybe we'll do him last. So let's range in the larger guns at about the same place as the individual did.
Okay.
We need these 5s.
First attempt.
Second attempt.
Okay.
So they're ranged in there as well. So we'll be hitting on
exact same
4s. Yeah, we'll do
Okay.
the same spot.
So 6 dudes again.
So we had 6 dudes, all the same. Do not need to re-roll them this time, so hitting on 4s.
4.
So 4 of them.
Okay.
Ooh.
3 firepowers, which again I think is 4+.
I believe these are still the 4+, yes. These are not heavy chemical mortars or anything. These are just Ranger mortars. So yeah, 4+ still.
Yep.
So 2 more. 2 first from that.
And then the naval ones.
The naval gun we've killed 2 there. Do I want to reposition it in any way? Again, we've kind of got to be aware.
Too close there.
And it has to center the table edge. You're right. First time using naval guns. So if I go to here and here.
There you go.
Okay, so that could get everyone but the outside too. Okay. So we'll do that for the naval gun. He's going to have the trained skill in this case, actually. So we'll need 5s. No. Oop. No. And come on. No. All right. So still not a bad phase. We did the pin down, which is our main. A couple less defensive fire shots and rifles. I'm fine with that. We're going to have a few rifle shots in this case. The follow me platoon cannot shoot.
Correct.
But the few guys here in the open are able to shoot. The machine gun did stay stationary. We're gonna have to roll line of sight.
If you're shooting the Carcano team, because I shot last turn, I am lit up from muzzle flashes, so you do not need to roll.
Perfect. Actually forgot about that when I was moving the other machine gun, but it's fine. I wanted to keep more of them in command. So he's got 5 shots. Straight off, we will fire it. We'll just fire at the Carcanos there. So you are.
I start at 3, so it's at least 2 hits.
With those kind of numbers, it was guaranteed either way, no matter what the modifiers.
1 firepower.
1 firepower.
Nope.
That's a 5. Into the boat.
Rolled in the boat.
Okay, and we've got 3 rifle teams that aren't blocked. Actually, technically, he would have 16 as well. The rest are going to be probably blocked. I guess he could kind of see around his mate to a man. He wouldn't be able to, but that's 5 rifles.
So I'm in, 4. It's because I'm in concealment. Oh, but night fight, it would actually make it 5+. Yeah, so that's still 4. Ooh, come on, Italian dice. 3 more firepowers, please.
No one gets that many firepowers on the 6s, though. But if we can get 1.
Don't jinx it.
We did get the 1. Fantastic. Okay. So that is actually all of the shooting I'm going to have. I feel, honestly, pretty comfortable moving into an assault phase, I think. I'm just going to double-check the numbers. So recap. We did repin down the mortars, and we did repin down the rifle platoon. That'll be key with their slow firing. And we've got some ranged in markers if things go badly and I need to target the same spots. Everything except the naval guns was able to range in, so that's ideal. And we are able to have cleared 3 of the rifles, 1 of the mortars. I'm in a pretty good position to do my assault phase.
All right, so we'll move on to the assault.
So yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead with some assaults. I'm going to try the front platoon first with their pin down slow firing at night. I'm pretty confident of getting home. I do have to roll some skills, at least they're veterans, to get across the barbed wire. But if that goes off, even if I end up getting pushed back by counterattacks, the second platoon with no fortification in the way would still have options either at them or up the hill at the mortars and into the command team. So we'll do the first off here. He's going to have some defensive fire.
You got to do the movement first, and then I get my defensive fire.
Movement, so...
You might as well roll 5 first.
Well, the order is, let's do the barbed wire, then I'll do the move to stack up.
Yep.
Then you do the defensive fire, which will shove me back if... I guess if you rolled 6 6s on your rifles.
Technically, I only need to roll 5 out of 6.
True. If you pull those off, it's a good thing the cameras are rolling. So we won't want to hear about your dice whining for a little while.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, so I'll just roll them in waves. We got our first 2 here. They're across. The next 2, one of them fails.
Okay.
The company commander, honestly, is probably just going to join for this assault as an extra base. So he stays back.
So 3 teams get in.
The 3 core rifle teams are going to move forward. You can do your defensive fire. We're going to move 1. We're going to move 1. And we will stack up the other here.
Okay, so my defensive fire, normally I would need a 4 because he's careful, +1 for being slow firing and pinned, and +1 because we're fighting in the night. I get a hit,
1,
which I will put on this single base here.
Okay.
Because why not?
Ranger, dodge a bullet.
Yep,
he does.
He does. All right, so then he proceeds with killing my infantry.
All right, so I've got 3 stands. Rangers have an assault of a 2+.
Of course they do.
So our left guy, our right guy,
both dead.
Doesn't matter.
All right, so then I test a counterattack. So I pull these guys out.
Yeah.
And 5+. And I fell back.
They're not about it.
So we'll be right back after I move them.
So some of them move up.
All right, here we are after I fell back. Unfortunately,
assault.
one of my teams could not make it out of the 6 inches, so he died because of the escarpment. He can't move over it. They moved up, and one of the command teams was able to successfully pass through the barbed wire. The others stayed at the end. So now we're going to move on to the second planned assault against the mortars.
Yeah, just the lead elements crossed the wire. The rest just kind of consolidated to the wire, or again, one of them failed to cross the wire. He is very hung up. So we do have another assault on the mortars. We're going to do that.
There's no defensive fire from well, I guess by 2 command teams, depending, because if you're on the other side of that tree, he might not get to.
Yeah, so like we're gonna move these in. We'll do the movement, get the positioning done up here off the camera. He might have a shot or 2 of defensive fire. There's no way to really stop that. So we'll just do the shuffling because it's going to be tight in terrain off camera, and be back in a sec.
Okay. All right, so we've moved up into contact. I took my defensive fire. I actually got 1 hit with this command team and killed 1 single ranger.
He did it, but it's fine.
Now we've got 3 teams on 1 mortar.
So 2s.
It's dead. My mortar attempts to counterattack.
Has the option to if you choose.
I might as well. Wait, can it? Is it a heavy weapon?
You can still fight. You'll have a modified result, probably a 6.
Yeah, it'll be on a 6, so I'll just take him out. Get rid of that. Move him up.
Okay.
Take my roll, because you never know. I figured that would happen.
You know that. So I will obviously attempt to continue the assault. And they have a 3+ counterattack. Throwing dice on the floor, which they're about. So that's good. Everybody actually still counts as in contact. No one else can join it, so it'll be the same 3. Which that mortar is knifed down in the dark.
All right.
So we will go into a consolidate there, and
we'll be right
that's a good assault round.
All right, here we are after consolidating the Rangers. And we are going to move into a very poor position for the Italians already in turn 2. Okay, Italian starting step. We are going to finally unpin these batteries over here. 4+. Hey, it worked. This one. I'll take it.
Everyone's waking up now.
Not that anyone's going to be able to shoot, but
there was a lot of combat noise last turn.
The 47mm on the left flank there, 4+. Nope. The Bredas beside them, they will unpin on a 4+. Yes,
you just gotta will it.
If there is a will. This platoon that is still pinned down does not unpin, and this platoon will unpin because I really need them. They unpin.
Everyone you said got it. I mean, you can just speak like that.
Apparently. So
all right, so
I'll go into my movement step, see what I can do, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, so for movement, first thing I did was I discarded their MG bunker card so they could start moving again. So they've undug, they've moved into the vineyard, so hopefully they can get some shots off.
Start responding to the direction of the push, okay.
Over here, I fell back part of this platoon just a little bit to get to the other side of the objective, just kind of consolidate. I know that's bad for, if you range in again, but I'm going to risk it. And then I fed some more troops up here so that, because you are starting within 4 inches, I'll at least be contesting if I don't die.
We double checked with the consolidate, it is like 3.8 inches. So yeah, we want to try and push hard for that objective if we can.
I'm just going to feed men into the grinder until it works.
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
And then everything else stayed stationary to maximize firepower, so we're going to move into the shooting phase.
Seeing what that can pull off in what is still night. All right. And start.
All right, I'm going to start by attempting to range in my Milmart Railway Artillery right here, using this spotting team for my formation commander. So needing a 5.
Easy enough to call range in on our old positions.
First. That's not a die. God damn it. Second attempt. And third attempt. And once again, they failed to range in. So with this commander, I am going to...
Shouting range in on our heads was a little confusing for your railgun.
You know what? Battery B back here, I'll use him to spot over onto the 60 mil because I can see just around the trees to it. It will need a 6 because the escarpment will be underneath it. So first attempt.
I mean, that worked. I guess it was close enough to where they used to like to range.
So
but you can remove those pre-ranged in from the beach.
One team firing on one team. It misses. He will use his second attempt to spot battery A. Can't see through the trees. And I'm too close to spot to here. Even if I were to put it right in the center. Yeah, so you know what? On the mortar team.
One mortar got left behind. He did a great job of his covering pin down fire.
So the other battery,
and
same spot. Second attempt, no. And third attempt, no. Okay.
Doesn't like his position,
So that's all my artillery. So then next, what's left of the pin down rifle squad will take 2 rifle shots at these rangers at rate of fire pinned. So rate of fire 1 plus 1. So 3. No, sorry. Starting at 4 becomes 5, and then pick up 6 because of night fighting. And I'll get no hits. And then the only thing left to do are the Bredas in the vineyard. Going to take some longer range shots. I think it's a little over 16. Oh, no, it's just at 16 to these teams here. So I'll take the night fighting and concealment shots at your rangers there.
Can they see? Do we have to worry about range for this?
1, 2, and 3.
At the night range?
Did they not fire last turn? Oh no, they followed me.
Yes, they did not fire.
Yeah, I've got range.
You've... All right.
I can see.
You do know where they are at least.
So,
okay.
2 shots each because I'm moving. I'm over 16. It's night. And you're concealed. So, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's actually a positive start.
Got a hit. I'll put it on this team here.
That's what that team's going to get for lagging behind.
But he
almost.
So, unfortunately, I think that is all I have to shoot. We are going to move on to American turn 3. All right, so we're going straight into the American turn 3 movement because they have nobody pinned. Lucky buggers.
Yeah, we did have one boat refloat.
We did.
The two that have been from the start, they're really stuck.
Pretty thick Italian sand.
But we have our one that failed last turn along with another. For our 2 platoons, I'm thinking the amount I've been drifting, we'll go to here. And we'll see how far these guys drift. We'll get some movement done. So first off, that's far. I think that's the 32.
Yep, that is 32.
And the other one
will also be 32. All right, so they're all coming down the same stretch
Apparently
of beach.
Everybody wants to come in, so we're going to do that.
And then we'll be right back.
Do some movement. Surge is on. So the 2 boats, as you saw, come way down. Also refloated.
But these two still did not.
They're done.
That's Sicilian sand, man.
Whoever put them ashore was not planning to refloat them. But anyway, a wave of Americans, one team dashing, the other didn't even have room, so they just moved out. Some of the Rangers have moved up. They're going to try and take care of the HQ platoon. The others have cleared the wire, most of them. One did get stuck. And moved up to consolidate the objective. The engineers, lead team and the commander here, did clear the minefield, which made room for the rest to move through. One stopping at the wire, the rest getting in. The machine gun from the one Ranger actually is going to turn around and take fire back at the machine guns. The mortar moving just to catch up so he doesn't get left behind. And we've got this left flank, a tidal wave. I've placed boats here, and everyone, the further I've placed it that way, the further it has rolled to drift. So it's not quite my fault. Bad luck for the Italians that all their heavy guns are left in the farmhouse.
Yeah, it is what it is. So they're going to move into shooting now.
Right, so we're getting real close. So a lot less fire than last turn. The one beach mortar actually did see all his guys coming through there, so we're going to do that first off.
Oh, just before you start, a quick note. We actually opted to move him because we're treating the scrubs kind of like trees, but are short trees, so you still can't see 6 inches past it kind of thing. And for him to be able to drop bombardments where he wouldn't have been able to do it without being danger close, so Ben opted to move him instead so he could potentially, if needed, next turn.
Just made it so that this is like a forest, unless you're on the edge of the direction you wanted to face. So I've just moved him a bit further around this turn.
Yeah.
So he can see towards the fields.
Exactly.
All right, so we've got a range in here.
Yep.
Under terrain, obviously, and then at night. So 5s. He did last turn. Oh, he almost did again. He
Second
is.
attempt.
All right. So he's ranged in over here.
All right, 2 teams.
On the 3.
3 teams, rather.
Hitting on
Threes?
+1
Or
so 4s. None?
Okay. I like that.
But he's ranged in. It's fine. We're going to have a couple machine gun shots.
From here over?
To there in the same way that yours shot. He stayed still. It's 5. You are in 16, which is his limit. Actually, I think he might only be able to hit the lead team.
I was going to say, yeah, because I only had a
because you were longer range guns, so he can only hit 1. Aggressive in 16, but you're concealed at night 5s.
Yeah. Nice.
3 of them.
3 saves on 1 team. He is going to live.
You almost willed that, but no.
So he does. And that will be a last stand check on my next turn, if we get that far.
Okay. We have some HMGs. We're going to have to see how far they can see. First off, not far enough. Then we've got various danger close rifle shots. So we have 2 lead rifles, maybe the 3 lead rifles, so 5, just into the closest platoon that's there. We'll just roll all 5 of these together. None of them are separate. You're all in the same skill, so it's at nights.
4.
I'm hitting on 4s. 3 of them.
All right, the 3 teams in that platoon will take hits. And 1 will die.
Okay. And we might as well take some shots here. Just save ourselves positioning for the assault, if nothing else. So 3 rifles at the 1 member. 2 hits.
Yes.
He is very fine. And 2 shots, because 1 is blocked.
At
the other, 2
hits. He's dead.
All right. So that was the direction we actually kind of would have wanted to go. Our mortars are not able to see through, and almost everything else is essentially blocked off. They dashed, and that's really it for the American shooting. We are in position to do some assaults, so we'll go into that, which is definitely going to be just try and finish off that HQ platoon
And
potentially
see if
cross the wire and get the objective. Could end it here. We'll play that out.
All right, and we'll be back. All right, so we started the assault phase. He charged over there, killing them, and then we'll consolidate after. So we're moving on to here. He's charged into that platoon. I get 2 shots in defensive fire. I am pinned, so I'll be hitting 4, 5 for pinned, 6 for night fighting. For 1 hit, which I'll put on, I guess, the lead team. And then he lives. All right.
Okay. So actually they've hit in defensive fire. They hit over there, but the
actually,
saves.
they're also within 8 inches.
I was going to say, you
fire.
might
so 2
have
of them.
at least 1 around the escarpment. Over his friend, sure. That one's
He
kind
would
of
not.
blocked.
Yeah, so just the 2. Add those in. They miss.
All right, so we'll just do 2 and 2 on the small stand. Is up,
Dead.
and on the larger stand
Is dead.
is up.
Okay.
So That clears that platoon, actually, in its entirety? Or was any of those stands left from that original platoon?
Nope, it was just them. These
All
three
of those
are part of this platoon.
No, one of them should have been from the original platoon.
You
didn't have the
killed it in
skill
the
last
shooting
turn.
phase.
Fair enough. Okay, so
That
the
will still
assault
happen?
is not over, is it?
If you can, I believe it is, if you can continue charging in, because you are within 4 inches and your charge range is 4, but you have to test to counterattack. Or I actually have to test to counterattack first, because they're within 4. So they will counterattack, I believe, on a 5+, and they will not counterattack. So they will fall back, and that will put me outside of the 6 inches, or sorry, the 4 inches to consolidate the objective, and that'll be an American victory.
That's it. The Americans have entered town and gained control of the seascape in pretty heavy force below. So with their consolidate, they'd be into town. We're on the objective, and though he still has a bastion in the farmhouse, it'll be in danger of getting cut off, and the Americans will have gained their foothold in Gela.
Indeed. All right, well, that was an interesting game. Very different from the last beach landing, just from dint of the fact that we went with the beach on the long table edge as it is set up in the actual player pack for Sicily. I don't really feel necessarily that my reserves screwed me over in this one like they did last time. I mean, I had a lot more on the table because we're playing with a different reserve rule where we're only using 20% troops.
Yeah, the change in reserves, that's something we've liked. We found a lot of times reserves, especially in a foot infantry company, by the time they get there, even when they're not delayed, they never make it to the front for the pace, at least that I kind of play. As we see, like turn 2 assaults are a thing I do in a normal battle. I usually do push pretty aggressive. I brought, honestly, the mortars with the anticipation of smoke assault, considering they're veterans, smoke, night. If I was coming through concealing terrain, I didn't even care about defensive fire if I didn't pin you down. I could charge machine guns. Didn't end up needing it. I actually did try my best to spread out.
He did. He was trying to put some troops here to land at that objective.
Yeah, like the Rangers came on the road because I was like, I could go either way. I was going to let the engineers spend a turn or two, maybe behind some smoke, clearing the objectives for Big Red 1 to follow them. With the Rangers going up the hill, didn't work out that way at all. I mean, it worked out really well. But yeah, the follow me as well. Like I never really use a lot of the command checks because they usually restrict something I need, whether it's shooting that turn. Blocking assaults is a big one for me. It worked out for them there, and I mean, you did what you could. Yeah,
I don't think
maybe
I really
collecting that many guns in one place.
I was just thinking about that. I probably could have left the one Breda here and then moved the other one to cover the road because I didn't even think about the road when I was setting up. I didn't
have my half tracks for once, and you suddenly thought the road was safe.
Yeah, honestly, a little bit. And then I think the other issue is I'm still a little bit too much trying to use the Italians as if they're German infantry, and
I don't even know that. Like once 2+ assault rangers are coming in, it doesn't matter how skilled
I was
you
going to
are.
say I was counting on the barbed wire and the minefields to slow you down at least a turn.
And you know what? If you'd split the machine guns, or maybe even just split the fields up, 1 or 2 teams might have been able to dodge them, but a whole platoon wouldn't each turn. It would have probably given me a real good choke point. Instead, I was able to kind of maneuver around them.
Downside with that is I can't put them on constructed areas like roads.
Fair.
Or fields.
Okay, that's fair. So, I mean, you did what you could. There's like defense is a little hard sometimes. If even against my will, I was forced to pile literally an entire wave into one portion. And did not give you enough turns to even plan to counter move.
It's fine. It's fine. It's coastal defense troops coupled with the fact.
I mean, they had to be ashore anyway. You've got Hermann Göring coming down the map to counterattack.
They will counter. They're going to break through the 82nd, and they're going to counterattack Gela. It's all good.
I mean, I hope not, but those paras are a little concerned.
But as painful as that was, it was still a fun game, and historically accurate. It's absolutely how it went.
Honestly, that was the tide. The Rangers were in, and by dawn we had the town. It wasn't really a great rest of the first day.
No.
But, we held that ground, and that's what we're going to try and play out. So maybe the 82nd will block that Hermann Göring.
I really doubt it.
because that's our next campaign map for the Americans. Is actually he'll be on the offensive. Probably the next report you will see will be also the Italian and Fallschirmjägers fighting the British Paras before we see a counterattack for the Americans again. But I'm looking forward to it.
Well, guys, as always, thanks so much for watching.
Hope you enjoyed.
Really appreciate the support. If you want to see more of what we're doing, click that like button, click that subscribe button, and share our videos around as much as you want, please. We are always hoping to reach more people. So, as always, we're pulling for you. Let's keep sticks on the ice.
Take care out there.